Welcome to the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin Deveci, your host, and welcoming you episode 166. We are in season 5 in the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. Quote of the day. As you know, we have a partnership with missionstatements.com, and here is the quote of the day. Most people spend more time and energy going around problems than in trying to solve them. Okay, well, we have a special guest in the American Business Podcast. I am going to invite our guest to our virtual stage and let's get the conversation started. Hello, Jake. Welcome to the American Business Podcast.
How's it going, Kevin? Glad to be
Good.
here.
Thank you very much. Pleasure is all mine. Very nice meeting you, and thank you for joining me in the American Business Podcast.
Pleasure is mine as well.
Thank you. How are you? How is your week going so far?
Extraordinary. It is going extraordinary. We are running wide open, and big things and good things happening.
Okay, this is great. And we love to learn more. And if that's okay, let's get the conversation started. As a start, would you please introduce yourself and your organization to our listeners and to our viewers?
My name is Jacob Lawson. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm also known as Mr. Make It Extraordinary. My primary business is Extraordinary Flooring. We've been in business for over 20 years. We are primarily commercial and industrial epoxy and polished concrete flooring contractors. So specialty flooring contractors in all things resinous and epoxy coatings world and polished concrete. We also have a residential division where we do high-end coatings and high-end concrete coatings in high-end residential as well. So that's my primary business, and my passion is make it extraordinary and helping change lives, helping people find that version of the extraordinary inside of them. What makes themselves extraordinary? What makes their life extraordinary? Envisioning it, creating it, defining it, and then achieving it. So, mentoring people in that way. I'm a public speaker. I'm also an author. So that is my passion, helping people find their version of the extraordinary.
I understand you're a published author. We love published authors and we love talking about books in the American Business Podcast. Can you tell us about your book, if that's okay?
Yeah. So my book,
All right.
Make it extraordinary. 27 life-changing lessons to help you elevate beyond the ordinary. Amazon bestseller. Basically took the first 40 years of my life and took all of the biggest lessons that I learned, and wrote them down in short story version, and also paid homage to all of the mentors that helped teach me those lessons. So it's got all of the biggest lessons I've learned, the easy way, the hard way, the expensive way, and in hopes of sharing a fun and creative story of kind of leapfrogging some people through some of the lessons that I learned the hard way. So it's got a lot of practical life lessons, business lessons, relationship lessons, kind of all of the above. And it's in story version and story fashion. So it's a good, quick read, and you can learn something while also being a little entertained and not as stereotypical of every self-help book that may be just kind of strictly business. So we've got some fun stuff in there, and quick airplane read, and
Okay.
might learn a thing or two. It might save you some time, money, or a headache somewhere.
Yeah, this is great. Well, I'm a published author myself, so I know how much hard work goes into a book. So I always appreciate it. And luckily, our audience they also love books and they love to hear from published authors. So I'm glad that you talk about your book, and we know about it right now. And how to get the book, by the way? You mentioned Amazon, right? Is there any other
Amazon's
venue?
the best
Okay,
way, right? What
best
can't you
way.
find on Amazon? If you can't find it on
Nowadays,
Amazon, you
that's
got a
true.
problem. You don't. It's non-existent if you can't find it on Amazon. So Amazon is the best and easiest way. Make it extraordinary. You type in, Google in, make it extraordinary. You're gonna see everything about me.
All right, sounds great. Um, Jake, can you tell us about your career journey a little bit? How did you get started? How your career journey has unfolded over the years?
Yeah, I actually got started by following my father's oil field career. My father was always working in an offshore oil field career, and right out of high school, I ran right behind him and followed his footsteps and started my journey offshore in the Gulf of Mexico, and then overseas off the coast of Africa. And it was a great start to my late teens and early 20s. I was making great money for a young man in that position. I got to see the world a good little bit, flying to different places and staying in different places, and just seeing other parts of the world, which um, is was something my dad always told me. So many people that never leave the United States, they can get caught complaining about the things that aren't perfect about this country. And he says, go to a third world country, and then you'll figure out how great of a country you're in, and you'd stop complaining when you start going to some of these places that don't have anything that the United States has, right? So I got to see some of that, and it was awesome. But I quickly realized that I didn't yet have a family, but knew one was going to be in my future, and I didn't want to raise kids from an oil rig. So um, I was always a hustler. When I would be in my off time, I would sit there and I would go work with a friend of mine laying floors. And when I was finished from my offshore, I decided. I said, this is going to be a career change for me, and I changed, and I call it my Home Depot card and a prayer moment. And I literally quit my offshore career. I bought a house, and went in. I had one job, a Home Depot card and a prayer, and I started my company. So that's kind of how I got things started.
What is the secret of your success?
Secret of my success, I'd say that it started with words that my grandpa implanted in me. My grandpa told me, Jake, with work ethic and determination, you can achieve anything. And those two words right there pulled me through my first easily 15 years of business, where I was not as high in my business acumen as I am now, right? But I knew hard work ethic, and determination would continue bringing me to those next levels. So those are the things that brought me through my career when I didn't know anything about a balance sheet, a profit and loss. I didn't know any of this stuff. Didn't know how to properly price projects. Didn't know how to technically run crews and lead. People, lead a team, build a team. Didn't know any of that, but I knew work ethic and determination was going to pull me to those next levels, and that right there was the secret to making it through the toughest parts of business.
Let's talk about your industry a little bit. What is the state of your industry? What are the opportunities, challenges that you can share with our audience?
Yeah, so we are resinous coating, which means epoxy coating to most people that do not know. But it's resinous is basically a liquid floor that's put on a floor, right? It's two liquids that are mixed together in multiple forms. There's all types of levels of it and technology to it. But depending on the situation, we do a resinous or a seamless floor. And we have a different type of flooring for each specific industry, each specific location, whether it be a heavy industrial, whether it be a manufacturing facility, whether it be commercial kitchens, whether it's retail spaces, right? So we've got a different type of resinous floor for any of those types. And then we also do polished concrete, which, almost everybody knows from, your Home Depot, Lowe's, your Walmart, your Sam's, all of the big box stores. Most of those floors that you're walking on are polished concrete. And they're just known for how low maintenance they are, and easy to clean, right? So that's what they're really known for. And so the state of the industry is really good. It is continuing to grow. More people are adapting to this type of flooring. More big box stores and stuff are getting away from the traditional VCTs and vinyl floors. And due to the seamlessness of the resinous flooring and the antimicrobials and all of that stuff, it makes it the ideal floor for manufacturing and stuff. And then on the flip side of it, it's really, really picking up in the residential space. So where a lot of people kind of just only considered it as a garage flooring quite a few years ago, it's now becoming more and more popular inside the home as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. That you just mentioned that it can also be used for interior in houses. Like, just out of curiosity, just to learn from you, comparison to a tile, or a ceramic tile or porcelain or marble tile. What are the advantages of polished concrete
Uh,
on the
so
floor?
So polished concrete, the beauty of polished concrete is you really cannot destroy it. You do have to do some maintenance, which is typically just cleaning in
Hmm.
order to keep it as pristine as we leave it. But
Hmm.
if you never did anything to it, you can't destroy it. Like you can drive forklifts on it, and look at Home Depots. They're driving forklifts back
Mm.
and forth and running over concrete and dust and dirt and rocks and everything. So um you while you can make it to where it's not as pristine as day one, you really can't destroy it, right? So that's one of the beauties of it. So it's either completely um maintenance free with the it'll lose a little bit of its luster over time, right? Or
Hmm.
it's just as simple as cleaning it, like Home Depot, once again, they clean the floor every day. So that's why it stays polished. And all they're doing is just running a floor scrubber across it, which is just cleaning the floor. It's just scrubbing the floor and sucking up the dirty water, right? So if you clean the floor all the time, it'll you'll never have to touch it again, and it'll stay looking like day one. So that's the beauty of polished concrete. It's one of the lowest maintenance floors there is.
Understood. Is Are there any what drives your industry? Is it housing, or is it like industrialization, or like building manufacturing? Like, are there certain driving forces?
The beauty is that there's all types of industries that we're using it in. So, and
Mhm.
we're very versed in all of the above. So, we're in certain parts of industrial,
Mhm.
plants, chemical plants, and those type of things. Manufacturing facilities. It's one of the top floorings in manufacturing facilities, whether it's a resinous coating or it's a polished concrete.
Mhm.
Hospitals and schools and things of that nature. It's very big in those
Mhm.
for the fact of the easy to clean and the able to disinfect, and that it's seamless, right? So if you think of a tile always has these grout lines,
Yes.
and those are porous, so dirt, grime, bacteria can get in those, and they're not easy to get out, right? So
Hmm.
the seamless part of the flooring is what makes it attractive in that nature, hospital rooms, surgery rooms, things of that nature, right? So and then you've got your retails, you've got your big box stores, you've got your retail malls, you've got, those type of things, your just standard brick and mortar locations, right? So that's a beauty of our industry, that it's in almost every type of industry. But then at the same time, uh, call it your regular flooring, tile and wood and marble, might
Hmm.
be on every job, whereas this is not on every job, right? This might be on one in
Understood.
10 jobs, right? So
Hmm.
although it's growing, it's still not as popular as traditional flooring as a whole.
Understood. Okay, these are great industry insights. Appreciate it. All right. Well, let's talk about AI a little bit. AI is a popular subject. Also, our audience, our listeners, and viewers, they love hearing and learning about AI. What is your take on AI in terms of the impact of AI on business?
My statement on AI is either you either learn to lead AI or you're going to learn to be led by AI. And so while I am not as versed as I would like to be, I make it a very strong point for my team to get versed on AI, right? So I'd like to think that my competition is still sleeping and I'm the only one on it. You know, I got my fingers crossed right there. But we're trying to implement it as much as possible because if you don't, you're going to be the ones left behind. So it is a necessity to use it in business, or you're going to get left behind. There's no doubt. So learn to lead it or learn to be led by it is my opinion.
Based on your experience, what are the best marketing practices that bring the highest ROI nowadays?
That's an open question that has many perspectives. It depends on what type of industry you're in, and it depends on what type of business that you're doing, right? So,
Hmm.
for my industrial and commercial sector, we're doing a ton of public bids, which gets us in front of every single flooring project out there. And that's one side. And then, the next part is the relationships that we build. Once we build the relationships with all of the contractors and the end users, then that brings us a certain amount. And then, you also have to have a SEO presence where you're Googled, where you're found when somebody is looking for your expertise. And then you also have to have a social presence so that you are staying in front of your clients. Social presence now is the new TV. You're not paying for 30-second commercials anymore. The commercial is on the phone that they have, and so you have to be in front of your audience at all times. And to quote one of my mentors, you got to be omnipresent. So that is one thing that we seriously strive to be. And I when somebody thinks of the word extraordinary, I want them to see this smile right here. So, whether it's extraordinary flooring, whether it's extraordinary life, whether it's extraordinary goals, when somebody hears the word extraordinary, I want them to think of Mr. Make It Extraordinary, Jacob Lawson.
How would you define leadership, and what are the great leadership qualities a good leader must have?
To me, a leader needs to set the example. A leader needs to be somebody who has attributes that you admire. If you do not admire any of the attributes of a person, that you should be being led by or that you potentially would follow, why would you do it? Right. So, if that was one of the turning points of my whole life and my whole career, is I was always somewhat of a natural leader. And I can think back to even as far as T-ball that I've always been a leader. I was leader in sports. I was always a leader. But there came a point in your life and at each level of business where you need to become a different and a better leader, right? So, the leadership that got me through my 20s and 30s was not the leadership that I needed to be to grow into my 40s and 50s. So you have to be an ever evolving leader, and you have to lead by example, and you have to presume and assume the qualities that are going to be admirable to other people that potentially could be following you.
Have you had any role models, any mentors who help you shape your career journey over the years?
Many, many, many. One of the biggest parts of this book right here was paying homage to all of them. So almost each and every one of those chapters, those life changing lessons, there was a mentor involved. And so, that book was not as much about selling copies of a book as it was to me personally, to pay homage to those mentors forever and put it down in a book. Some of them are no longer here with us anymore, but somebody from anywhere around the world may pick up this book and read about these mentors that shaped and inspired me. So without a doubt, I've been so blessed with many many mentors. I call it God's divine timing, that each mentor guided me to a next level. I didn't get a level 10 mentor when I was 13, right? So when I was a teenager, I got these mentors, and then when I was in my early 20s, I got these mentors, and then as I got into my 30s, I got the next mentors, and each mentor came to me at the right time of my life to level me up to that next level. And if they came in any other order, it wouldn't have worked. If the ones that came to me in my 20s came to me now, I'd have to teach them something. So that's the beauty of it, and I call it God's divine timing. He's put so many blessings in my life, and mentors are such a huge part of my life, and that's why I feel so strongly about paying it back and giving it back to other people. And that's part of the biggest reason why I do what I do, and my mentorship goals is I was blessed to have these people show me the way and give me these little tips and tricks to get a head start, and I'm trying to pay it back.
Key career lesson. If there is one key career lesson that you learned the hard way, what would it be that you can share with us?
Know your numbers. Know your numbers. Even as far back as a kid, I was always good at sales. I could sell, 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 whether it was candy bars or ads to the school newspaper to make money for the wrestling program. I could always sell. But just because you're making sales does not mean that you're making money. And this is a lesson that I've had to learn and refine and grow so many times. And it doesn't stop, and it keeps evolving. Just last year, we grew our company to a whole nother level, and we had to look and say, hey, guess what? The profit margins that we were making before that were great, they're not so great now. Why? Because our overhead changed, right? So you have to know your numbers, not just in business, but your life expenses as well. So you might be doing it. Oh, the gross profit is amazing. We're making 50%, 60% gross profit. Well, that doesn't mean anything if your overhead is shot through the roof and your life expenses are through the roof, right? So it's all relative. You have to know your numbers. You have to know your expenses, both business and personal. And then once you know that, then you know the type of profit that you need to do, because you may be pigeonholed or capped in the amount of revenue that you can do. And so, I tell young people all the time that are coming up in my business, they're like, "Oh, what do I charge a foot? Oh, how much a foot for this? How much a foot for that?" And I say, "You don't charge by the foot. I say you charge by the job. You figure out what it's going to cost you, and you figure out what you need to make. If you can only do one job a week, well, that means you've only got 4 jobs a month. And if you have $10,000 in bills every month, then you need to make $2,500 off of every single job just to break even." And a light bulb goes off in their head. And if somebody would have told me that earlier on, I would have capitalized a lot sooner.
We have a little tradition in the American business podcast. I have a question for you coming from our previous guest, and I'll ask you to leave me a question in this episode. So I'll take your question and ask to our coming guest. Um, okay, so the question from our previous guest is Elon Musk's SpaceX is gonna go public soon. That's what we are learning from the media. And what is your take on interstellar marketing and commerce? It's a pretty futuristic question, so we'll have to get your take.
Beam me up, Scotty. I've always said if you can sign the check, I will lay floors on the moon, Mars, or Saturn. I don't care. Just get me up, link me up, star link me up there, however you want to do it. I'm ready to do some interstellar marketing. When Elon gets it on, I love to throw some floors on the first palace that he builds up there.
Well, they'll definitely need flooring. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
What do you think? Yes.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, okay. So, what is your question for the next guest in the American Business Podcast?
What does an extraordinary life mean to you?
Okay. All right. It's a good
It
question.
means something different to everybody.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
this is a question that I asked everybody that I'm entangled with and everybody that we have these type of conversations with, because so many people think an extraordinary life is out of reach. They think this life is for the gifted, the special, the blessed, the talented, and it's not. It's really in everybody's reach, but if you don't know what you can clearly define as an extraordinary life, then you'll never really achieve it.
And how would you define it?
I define it by living by your means, creating your goals, achieving them, chasing after them. Um, whether you fully achieve them or not, as long as you are putting forth all your efforts and trying to achieve them, as long as you going after the goals that are in your soul, the feelings that you have, then to me that's living an extraordinary life. You're living it on your terms. You're chasing after the things that you know that you want in your soul. And to me, one of the worst things in the world is something that's said all the time. The deathbed regret of so many. I could have done more, right? So so many people have these dreams and ambitions, and then life smacks them around a little bit, and then they just settle, and then all of a sudden they think those things are unachievable, and they give up on that, and then they always just live with the what ifs and the I wish I did, and and to me that's it's a shame, and I never want to live that way. And to me, if you are not living that way, or you are chasing your dreams and you are going after them and you are setting your standards and you are getting the things that you want in life, and it doesn't have to be items. It's a state of mind, it's a presence, it's a family, it's whatever that is for you. The hunter wants to hunt, the fisherman wants to fish, the race car driver wants to drive sports cars, right? The pilot wants to fly the jet, right? What does that mean to you?
Understood. Well, in this part of the episode, is there any question that you would like to ask me?
Yeah, Kevin, where you from?
Well, I'm originally from Istanbul, Turkey. Yeah, and yeah, I moved to US in 1999.
Okay,
So it's
okay.
been a while. Yeah. So
The
yeah,
the
I've
the
been in New York
year the
since
year
then.
before I graduated.
Yes. Well, time flies.
Time
Time
does fly.
flies. Yeah, good
Time does
times.
fly. Definitely.
Okay, great. Well, do you have any career advice for the next generation professionals?
Yeah. Right now, we are living in an ever-changing world of not only AI, but robots are here. They're not coming. They're here, and they are only going to be multiplied. So find what makes you different. Lean into it and show your work. If you can define what makes you different, if you can find what makes you original, find what makes you separate you from the rest of the pack, figure that out, max out that talent, and show your work, promote your work, let people know what it is, because you don't want to get lost into the nothings, because there's going to be a lot of nothing going on. There's going to be a lot of something or a lot of nothing. You don't want to be part of nothing because, this world is changing so fast. So figure out what makes you different, stand behind it, and make that light shine bright.
For those who like to continue this conversation and get in touch with you, what is the best way that they can get in touch with you, learn about your organization?
So at the real Jacob Lawson is the easiest handle. At Make It Extraordinary is another handle. Those are the two best pages to DM me and get with me. It's all things extraordinary. This is what my life is built around, helping people envision, create, and define their version of the extraordinary. Right? Everybody has their own. We just said it, and it's my life's passion to help people achieve that, to figure out how to achieve that, what it's going to take to achieve that. And that's where I get goosebumps and making and helping people get to those levels.
Jake Dawson, thank you so much for being with us in your busy schedule. Thank you for sharing your professional insights and professional wisdom with us in the American Business Podcast.
Very welcome, Kevin. Thank you very much for having me on.
Pleasure is all mine, and I wish you a great day.
You too, Kevin.
And
Make
to
it
our
extraordinary.
make it extraordinary. Yes, stay
Make it an
extraordinary.
extraordinary day,
Yes,
Kevin.
yes. Thank you. You too. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Okay, well, to our listeners and to our viewers, thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for watching. Well, what do you think about this conversation? And how is your extraordinary life? How would you define it right after this conversation? Put it in comments. Share your thoughts with us. And we love to hear from you. And if you like this episode, please make sure to like, subscribe, invite your colleagues, your contacts, your friends, share with your friends, and get them involved and help them be a part of the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. We'll truly appreciate it. And we'll be right back after a short break. Thank you very much. Would you like to listen to music during your work time? We are here to help. We created ABP Office Music Pod, powered by the American Business Podcast. ABP Office Music Pod is for you, the working professional. You can enjoy jazz, lo-fi, smooth jazz, classic music, and more during your work time. We keep the music positive and energetic. You can go to the YouTube channel of the American Business Podcast, or you can scan this QR code and start listening right away. There is more coming in the American Business Podcast, and this is one of them. Enjoy ABP Office Music Pod during your work time, and thank you very much for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Reddit. Do you know the biggest challenge nowadays for American small businesses? That is visibility. That's why we partner with Reddit for Business. There are more than 440 million visitors weekly on Reddit. Furthermore, Reddit is reliable, and millions of users are going to Reddit to get the real feedback from real people. It is the number one source for real reviews on products, services, and brands. There is a promotion going on that I'd like you to consider and take advantage of. When you spend $500 on Reddit for advertising, you'll get $500 in advertising credit. True story. I am a Reddit user, and anytime I like to have feedback or review for a product or service, I go to Reddit and I talk to Reddit communities. I get the real feedback and real review from real people and real communities. Scan this QR code and sign up for Reddit advertising. Get the visibility for your company, for your products and services on Reddit with Reddit advertising. Reach people ready to buy your products and services with Reddit advertising. Scan the QR code and sign up today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Anywhere Apps by Kerr Consulting, now Cherry Becker. Anywhere Apps are designed to help you digitize and automate your business processes. Anywhere Apps are family of business software products. There are more than 40 products available for business process digitization and automation. Anywhere's apps are easy to use, they are standalone, and they are also ready to integrate with your ERP and accounting software systems. Today, I'd like to promote APS Anywhere, which is part of Anywhere Apps software product portfolio. APS Anywhere, designed for manufacturing companies. Whether you are a process manufacturing company, food and beverage, chemical, and more, or a discrete manufacturing company, automotive, aerospace, electronics, and more. APS stands for Advanced Planning and Scheduling. APS Anywhere is ready to streamline, digitize, and automate your production planning process. As you know, in manufacturing, production planning is not easy. There are always some bottlenecks and challenges. You need to put together your resources, 3M, man, machine, and material. APS Anywhere designed to streamline this process and automate it for you. It is a modern system. It runs on cloud. It also has deployment options for installation on your server or your private cloud environment. The system is scalable. It comes with unlimited number of production planning scenarios, meaning before you execute, you can see the financial implications and timing of your production planning on APS Anywhere. APS Anywhere comes with a very colorful and easy-to-use Gantt chart so that you can see your production planning on a colorful and easy-to-operate Gantt chart before you finalize your production planning purposes. The system is also integratable. It is ready to integrate your ERP system, MRP system, and other systems whenever there is a need. It is designed for manufacturing companies by manufacturing experts. It also comes with ready-made reports if you like to utilize. Furthermore, on APS Anywhere, we can also use demand forecasting function, meaning based on your past manufacturing and sales figures, the system can predict what will be your demand in the future. This will help you manage your supply chain in a more productive manner. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code and you can learn more about APS Anywhere as well as Anywhere App software system in general. There is more. I have a direct line for you. You can send me a direct email, kevin@kerconsulting.com. kevin@kerconsulting.com, and I'll be happy to hear from you about Anywhere Apps, APS Anywhere, or any Anywhere Apps that is offered by Anywhere Apps by Kerr Consulting, now Cherry Becker. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Otter AI. Otter is the AI note taker that builds your knowledge and powers your workflow with transcription, automated summaries, AI chat, and more. Get your AI-powered assistant for meeting notes, tasks, and more. Scan the QR code on the screen and sign up today. Otter AI is the latest note taker that you can utilize, and you can set your meetings, you can take your notes, and you can also set up your follow-up actions automatically with the help of the Otter AI. Scan the QR code and sign up today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from DocuSign. If you are signing vendor contracts and customer contracts very often, just like I do on daily basis, consider DocuSign. DocuSign is the latest modern digital and electronic signature software system. Furthermore, you can manage your vendor contracts, customer contracts, NDAs, and any other commercial contracts on DocuSign digitally with no need of local installation and no need of keeping your documents on your laptop or your mobile device. Furthermore, with the latest technology of DocuSign, it has intelligent agreement management. It recognizes your repeated documents and creates contracts automatically and makes things easier for you. Do you know how many users are there for the DocuSign system? More than 1 billion users. There are many companies using DocuSign and trust DocuSign for electronic and digital signature. True story. I also use DocuSign on daily basis and it works smoothly. Highly recommended. You see the QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, you fill up the form to start your free trial and join the DocuSign user community. Enjoy your DocuSign experience, and I hope you sign up today. I have the QR code on the screen. Thank you very much, and enjoy the experience. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Gemini Trust. Gemini makes crypto simple. Find, trade, and buy over 70 different coins, including Bitcoin and Solana, on the best cryptocurrency platform. Gemini Trust. Start trading crypto here. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code and start signing up today. Because they have a great customer service, you can reach out to them and get assistance 24/7. Scan the QR code and start trading crypto on Gemini. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Wizen. At the American Business Podcast, we always talk about continuous improvement and professional development. That is why we partner with Wizen, trust the nation's largest network for tutoring. Wizen helps you find the tutor that you need in many different subjects: chemistry, computer, foreign languages, geometry, English, music, physics, reading, SAT, science, and many more. I have the QR code on the screen that you can sign up and start searching for tutors and enjoy the learning experience and continuous improvement as we always talk about in the American Business Podcast. Scan the QR code and sign up for Wizen today. Thank you very much. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Rosetta Stone. Rosetta Stone is bringing you foreign languages. Learn from the experts, choose your plan to get started, sign up today. New Year is coming, and if your New Year resolution is learning a foreign language, Rosetta Stone is the choice for you. Rosetta Stone is offering you a long list of foreign languages: French, Italian, German, Chinese, Greek, Turkish, Polish, Portuguese, Vietnamese, and many more languages are available for you to get started today. Scan the QR code on the screen and sign up for Rosetta Stone and enjoy the learning experience of foreign language. Thank you very much. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Anywhere Apps by Kirk Consulting, now Cherry Beckert. Anywhere Apps are business software systems, and they are designed to digitize and automate your business processes. Today, I like to focus on contract management anywhere as part of Anywhere Apps software product portfolio. Contract Management Anywhere is an AI-powered vendor, customer, and legal contract management software system. It is modern, it runs on cloud, it's easy to use, and it's scalable. Because of the AI capabilities of the system, software comes with an AI chatbot that you can get your answers about any contracts that you have. Renewal dates, amounts, start dates, and other details can be learned from the system in a conversation. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code to learn more about Contract Management Anywhere, as well as Anywhere Apps in general. There is more. I have a direct email for you. You can send me a direct email about Anywhere Apps and Contract Management Anywhere, kevin@kirkconsulting.com. I'll be happy to help you and help you schedule a demo session with Team Anywhere Apps. Looking forward to hearing from you, and I hope you enjoy Anywhere Apps. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Norton, advanced tech for advanced threats. Sign up today. Norton offers you different packages to completely save and secure your data and your devices. Each Norton package comes with antivirus, malware, ransomware, and hacking protection capabilities. In addition, there is VPN, private internet connection, dark web monitoring, and parental control capabilities in each package. There is a promotion going on right now. I have the QR code on the screen. You can get up to 60% discount if you sign up right now for one of the packages. There are packages of deluxe, standard, plus, and select. Depends on the number of devices that you like to connect, as well as the features that you like to utilize when you are using Norton. I have the QR code on the screen. When you scan the QR code, you'll see the different packages and options available for you. Scan the QR code, go to the page that you like to sign up, pick the package that you like to use, and sign up today. True story. I am also using Norton on a daily basis, and I know all of my devices are secure every single day thanks to Norton. Scan the QR code on the screen and start using Norton today and save your devices and your data in a safe and secure manner with the help of Norton. Thank you very much and enjoy the experience.